I am very excited at the moment because it is time for the Australia Cup round of 32. NPL teams, A-League teams coming together for one big, beautiful tournament. The round of 32 gets underway this week. We're going to be going through and previewing every matchup, giving you my score prediction. Feel free to jump in the chat, have your say. Which round of 32 matchup are you most looking forward to? Let's jump into it. First of all, Tuesday night, Moreton City Excelsior from Queensland taking on Campbelltown City from South Australia. A little bit about these sides. Moreton City Excelsior currently second in NPL Queensland. They've only lost 2 games in 18 matches, so on a really good run of form this season. Campbelltown City third in their state league. And of course, Campbelltown City might be a name familiar to Australia Cup fans. They knocked out A-League side Macarthur FC in the round of 32 last year. So keep an eye on them in this match. They've got experience when it comes to these big games. Moreton City, some good form in the league though. Home ground advantage. I think they get over Campbelltown City in this game. I'm going to go 2-1 to Moreton City Excelsior. Next up is Oakley Cannons taking on Sydney FC. And this is a particularly exciting match because these two teams faced off in the quarterfinals of the Australia Cup a couple of years ago. Oakley Cannons getting the win in that game. Can the side from Victoria replicate that same incredible result? I think it's going to be a tough ask. Despite Oakley Cannons currently being 5th in NPL Victoria, having a decent season, the Sky Blues, obviously they won the Australia Cup last year. They had a fantastic run. They're looking to defend their title once again this year. Keep an eye on new midfield signing for Sydney, Anas Waheen. They're still building their squad at the moment. We're still, I think, expecting a few more signings to come in at the Sky Blues, but I think Sydney will be too strong on this occasion. I'm going to go 3-1 to Ufuk Talay's side. O'Connor Knights are taking on Macarthur SC at GIO Stadium in Canberra, which is great to see that a big stadium is hosting this round of 32 tie. O'Connor Knights currently 3rd in the ACT League. This is their debut in the round of 32 as well, and coming up against an A-League opposition in Macarthur who won the Cup back in 2022, but of course, as we mentioned earlier, knocked out in the round of 32 last year. They'll be really eager to bounce back in their first competitive hit-out for this year. I think the Bulls will be too strong in the end. 2-0 for me. Keep an eye on new signings, Economides, Marin Yakalic, Luke Bratton, potentially to make their Macarthur debuts in this game. And then lastly on Tuesday, we've got Darwin Hearts, obviously from Northern Territory, taking on Hume City. This is a huge occasion for Darwin Hearts. This is their debut in the round of 32. They're currently 2nd in the NPL competition up there. Hume City, a team that we're familiar with when it comes to the Australia Cup finals rounds. This is their 6th appearance in the round of 32. They made the semi-finals back in 2015, currently 3rd in NPL Victoria. This is, a huge occasion, as we mentioned, for Hearts. I think Hume City, though, will be too strong in this one. It should be an entertaining game. I'm expecting a high-scoring match potentially in this one. 3-2 to Hume City. Wednesday, Blacktown City taking on Adelaide United. Another exciting night for Blacktown City taking on an A-League opposition. They've faced a handful of A-League teams over the past in the Cup. They famously knocked out Central Coast Mariners a number of years ago. Adelaide United, another one of these teams sort of finding, their setup for this new season, some outs, some fresh ins with the likes of Archie Goodwin into the side, as well as Bart Vriens, the Dutch defender. So keep an eye on those new signings. Currently 4th in NPL New South Wales, Blacktown City. This is their 6th appearance in their final rounds of the Australia Cup. I think the Reds, Carl Vert's side, will be too strong in this one. Could be a close one, though. Blacktown City will push them all the way. I'm going to go 2-1 to Adelaide United. Brisbane City, who are currently 8th in NPL Queensland. This is their 2nd finals appearance. They'll be taking on Western Sydney Wanderers. Wanderers, they've got really good form when it comes to the round of 32 specifically in the Australia Cup. Across the 9 previous editions of the Australia Cup, Wanderers have only lost once in the round of 32, which is a pretty remarkable record. So I expect them to be strong once again here. Brisbane City, a big occasion for that club up in Queensland. I think Wanderers will be too strong for them. 2-0. Rockdale Illingdon, who are currently cruising on top of the NPL New South Wales ladder. They're having a fantastic season. This is their 3rd appearance in the round of 32. They're taking on A-League opposition as well. Newcastle Jets, of course, the Jets had to go through the playoffs. A really impressive 4-1 victory against fellow A-League opposition Western Western United. So this will be a really exciting matchup because you've got the top team from NPL New South Wales taking on Newcastle Jets, who again, sort of still figuring themselves out for this new season. Again, a handful of new signings there under coach Robbie Stanton. So keep an eye on this match. I think this could be a really, really exciting game. I'm going to call the cup set. I'm going to do it. I'm going to say Rockdale to win 2-1 in this one. Could be goals galore in this one. It'd be really, really fascinating one to watch. Perth Red Star will be taking on Lions FC as well on Wednesday. Perth Red Star currently second in NPL WA. This is their second appearance in the round of 32. Lions FC currently third in NPL Queensland. And they've appeared a number of times in the round of 32 and have a pretty decent record. Out of the 4 times that they've appeared in the round of 32, they've won 3 out of 4 of those matches. So this could be a really, really exciting game to watch. 2 quality sides in their respective states coming together here. It's a big trip for Lions all the way over from Queensland. I think Perth Red Star get the win here in this one with that home ground advantage. We've got the standalone Saturday fixture. It's an all A-League matchup. Perth Glory, who went through the playoffs, defeating Brisbane Roar, taking on Melbourne City. And again, this one should be really fascinating because you've got this Glory side who look rejuvenated and energized under new head coach David Zwilich. An impressive performance in that playoff match last week, I should say. Melbourne City made the semi-finals last year, the finalists in 2019. They won the thing in 2016. And a lot of fans of City and just everyone across the country curious to see how City set up this season because we know they've lost Curtis Good, Jamie McLaren, Togo Arslan, Nuno Reis, some major outs at City. So there's an opportunity here for Perth to get the win, and I think they do it. I'm going to say 2-1 to Perth Glory. I think it could be a narrow one in the end. But they showed enough for me in that playoff game, Perth, that they could really upset not only City here in this matchup, but they could be a real team, like a dark horse to watch in this upcoming A-League season. Keep an eye on Abdul Faisal, who was incredible in that playoff game, scoring 2 goals. Tuesday, the 6th of August, Lambton Jaffers taking on Melbourne Victory. Lambton Jaffers, this is their first appearance in the finals rounds since 2016. They're currently second in their respective league. And some great form as well. Lost 2-18, Lambton Jaffers. Huge occasion for the club, taking on one of the biggest clubs in Australian football in Melbourne Victory. Victory, this is their first competitive hit out under new head coach Patrick Kisnorbo, winners of the Cup in 2021 and 2015. But incredible that their last win in the Australia Cup was that final win in 2021. They've struggled since then through the round of 32 and the playoffs. So they'll be looking to build a good cup run for the first time in a few years here. And I think they start off with a win here. I think too much quality for victory in this one over Lambton Jaffers. I'm going to go 4-1 to Patrick Kisnorbo's side. South Melbourne, who are currently flying first in NPL Victoria, they have had an incredible season so far this time around. And defense is where they've really been shining this season. They've only conceded 18 goals in 23 matches. They're taking on Wellington Phoenix. Wellington, obviously one of the most incredible stories in the A-League men's competition last year, making it all the way to the semi-finals, finishing in the top 2. Expect them to have a really strong cup run, but they've got a tough test against a quality South Melbourne side here. Phoenix, if they can overcome this challenge, they will be a force to be reckoned with in this cup tournament. South Melbourne, though, I think with a home ground advantage, I think they get the win here. I think there's a huge opportunity for a cup set here for South Melbourne, a team with a lot of history. Could be an exciting one to watch. I'm going to go 3-2 to the side from Victoria. Speaking of Victoria, we are sticking around there because FC Melbourne Serbia are making their finals debut. They play their football in the 3rd tier of Victoria, and they'll be taking on Modbury Jets from NPL South Australia, who are currently first over there in SA. Really, really exciting matchup. It's always great to see a team from the lower divisions feature in the final rounds of the Australia Cup, so we'll see what FC Melbourne Serbia have to offer in this huge matchup. Modbury Jets, though, currently cruising on top of the NPL SA ladder. I think they get the win in this one. Melbourne Serbia to push them all the way. I'm going to go 2-1 to the away team there. Olympic Kingsway taking on Edgeworth Eagles. Olympic Kingsway currently top of NPL WA. Edgeworth Eagles, last time around in the round of 32, they took on A-League opposition Western United, lost in that one, so they'll be looking to bounce back and build a good cup run here. The team from Newcastle, I think Olympic Kingsway, though, should have the home advantage beach here and get over the line in the end. A big trip for Edgeworth Eagles. An exciting occasion for the club, but I think Olympic Kingsway will be too strong in this one. I'm going to go 2-0. Heidelberg United are taking on Central Coast Mariners. Heidelberg United have featured a number of times in the Australia Cup. Currently 4th in NPL Victoria. They've only lost 3 in 23 games. And a stats worth pointing out here for Heidelberg United. When it comes to the Australia Cup, they've made the quarterfinals on 4 occasions. So they're one of the more successful teams when it does come to the Australia Cup. Central Coast Mariners, of course, we shouldn't forget, won the treble last year. My team, Central Coast Mariners, really excited to see how they're set up this year. Obviously, some big departures with Josh Nisbet, Max Ballard, Dan Hall amongst the departures. Some interesting new signings coming in. Curious to see how they go setting up for their debut. It's a struggle for Mariners, though, when it does come to the round of 32. They've lost 6 out of 9 times in the round of 32. So hopefully we can build some good cup form this time around. Of course, we remember back to 2021 when Mariners made the final, losing to Melbourne Victory. I think Central Coast will, they'll be eager to add that one more trophy, that remaining trophy to the cabinet for 2024. I think they kick off the Australia Cup round of 32 with a win here, 3-1 to the mighty Mariners. NWS Spirit, currently 11th in NPL New South Wales, taking on Glenorchy Knights, who are currently top of the league in Tasmania. They've only lost 1 in 14, Glenorchy. It should be an interesting matchup. I think Glenorchy will really push Spirit all the way here. NWS, though, I think they get the win in this one. Could be a narrow one, just a 1-0 win for me for Spirit over Glenorchy Knights. And then lastly, we've got Olympic from Queensland taking on Apia Leichhardt. Olympic are currently 7th in NPL Queensland. Apia Leichhardt, a team that we're very familiar with when it comes to the final rounds of the Australia Cup as well. We remember, a few years ago, they knocked out Western Sydney Wanderers, currently 3rd in NPL New South Wales. And when it comes to the round of 32, they've featured 4 times. They've won every single time. And I think they will get the win this time around once again as well. There'll be too much to handle for Olympic on this occasion. A 1-0 away win for Apia Leichhardt. So there's my preview and predictions for all 16 Australia Cup round of 32 matchups. Again, jump in the comments which round of 32 tie are you most looking forward to. Stay tuned to the Coastwood Football channel to keep up to date to all the latest when it comes to the Australia Cup and other Australian football news stories. My name's Lockie. This is Coastwood Football, and I'll see you in the next one.